South Korea finally got its first ever reality dating show for women who love women, right when the Thai GL industry is thriving. But just a week after airing, the show got paused. Why? Well, apparently because of all the controversy surrounding some of its contestants. Now let me be real. The show had a beautiful and diverse cast of 7 women. They were all supposed to live together for a week in a house on Jeju Island, cut off from their phones, only allowed to share their names, nothing else. The idea was to form real, meaningful connections without any outside distractions. Sounds wholesome, right? The cast ranged in age from 19 to 32, which already sparked some concern among viewers. And that's when people started digging into their backgrounds. That's when the mess started. So first we have Hang-yul, the youngest, at 19. She's a singer-songwriter and wants to pursue music. Just remember that little detail because it'll come up again later. Then there's Riwon, another hot topic of controversy. She quickly became a fan favorite, probably because she's already kind of famous. She's a content creator with over 300k followers. There's even talk that she might be edited out of the show completely, though I haven't seen any official statement from the production yet. We also have Seoyeon, who works as a producer at Studio Chum, which is affiliated with Mnet. Then there's YouTuber Gina, we have Mirang, and finally Dagyo, a nurse who's also been involved in controversy. So now that you know who's who, let's dive into the actual controversies that possibly led to the show being paused. First up, Dagyo. So apparently someone who claimed to be her ex came forward on social media and posted about how she felt betrayed. According to her, Dagyo ended their long-term relationship right before joining the show. At first, she blamed herself, but then said the timing suddenly made sense once the show aired. If that's true, it's definitely messed up. But here's the thing. We don't actually know if the claims are true. And of course, the internet had all kinds of opinions. Some people even compared it to the JoJo Siwa situation. But let's be honest, that's a bit of a reach. JoJo was still in a relationship during her time on the show, whereas Dagyo had apparently already broken up with her partner before filming. So in the end, most people sided with Dagyo. They were like, we don't know what really happened, and we haven't heard both sides. Neither Dagyo nor the production company made any public statement, so the situation kind of fizzled out on its own. People moved on. And then came the next big issue, the age gap. A lot of viewers were uncomfortable with Hang-yul being only 19 while the rest of the cast was in their mid to late 20s, and even early 30s. The concern really blew up because Hang-yul was being heavily shipped online with older cast members like Riwon and Hee-young. That sparked a whole debate about age dynamics, especially in a dating show setting where real emotions are supposed to be involved. And honestly, the age gap thing is a valid concern. 19 is legally an adult in South Korea, but there's a big difference in life experience between someone fresh out of high school and someone in their late 20s or early 30s. And when it comes to emotional dynamics, that kind of gap can get messy fast. It's not just about age, it's about power dynamics, maturity levels, and whether a 19-year-old can navigate those kinds of relationships safely, especially under the pressure of cameras and public shipping. So I get why people were uncomfortable. I mean, would we feel the same if the roles were reversed in a straight dating show? Probably not. That said, no one on the show has done anything illegal or clearly predatory so far. But off the show, she has accused Riwon of suggesting inappropriate stuff, which I will get into. I do think the production team should have thought this through a bit more, like maybe set an age minimum of 21 or 22. It just would have avoided this whole awkward discourse. And since we're talking about age gaps, I have to mention this. Take the Thai GL series Blank, for example. It's been super hyped, but the age gap between the characters is honestly gross, like visibly uncomfortable. I get that people are obsessed with the chemistry, but that doesn't make the age difference any less weird. Then there's I'm Your Moon. I happened to watch a few episodes and then stopped. I don't know the exact age gap between the characters in this one, but the vibes were off. One of the characters has these overly childish mannerisms that feel super forced and kind of cringy. Like in one scene, she got grounded by her grandfather, and her love interest is a grown businesswoman. It was hard to sit through, not just because of the acting, but the dynamic feels really unbalanced. So this problem exists in GL media. Sometimes queer content gets a pass just because it's rare or new or couple had chemistry, but we still gotta call it out when something feels off. Now, the next big controversy that made a lot of people uncomfortable was Riwon's past. Things escalated fast when rumors began to circulate online, claiming that she was once a racy streamer or cam girl. Some even alleged that she used to produce adult content, which isn't true, and was faking her sexuality just to get on the show. These claims spread like wildfire, and the backlash hit hard. In response, Riwon erased her Instagram and later uploaded a handwritten letter addressing the situation. She began her letter with an apology and went on to explain her background as a streamer and the kind of content she used to post. I have hosted personal content broadcasts for about 3 years in total, from 2016 for around 2 years, again from November 2021 to March 2022 for about 4 months, and most recently from February to September 2024 for about 7 months. She also mentioned participating in dinner dates, which are common among streamers in Korea, basically meetups with top donors. But she was was clear that those interactions never crossed the line. During my broadcasting activities, I went on a total of 6 dinner dates. All of these meetings were strictly for meals only and involved no physical contact of any kind. To prove this, I made sure to stream on each of those days and leave a record. Regardless of my personal circumstances, the fact remains that I had this past. Out of selfishness, I did not inform the production team beforehand, and by appearing on the show, I disappointed and hurt many people. I sincerely apologize for that. Riwon then addressed the allegations that she was queer baiting and pretending to be a part of the LGBTQ+ community. She publicly confirmed her identity. I first realized my sexual orientation when I was in middle school. My first relationship was also with a woman, and it lasted for 2 years and 6 months. However, there were times when I tried to deny who I was, which led me to date both women and men. I was in a long-term relationship with a woman until June 2024. Then, in August, still struggling with self-denial, I dated a man. She went on to explain that her relationship with that man became toxic and abusive, and this was a key reason she decided to appear on ToGetHer, to reclaim her narrative and come out on her own terms. In the beginning, he helped me, including organizing my broadcast videos. But whenever I tried to end things, he threatened to out me to my family and friends. He resorted to violence, confinement, hacking, and even caught in a situation where it was difficult to break up. I applied to the show with the desperate desire to come out on my own terms, rather than being forcibly outed by someone else. After the show's casting process, we briefly saw each other again for about 2 weeks. However, since the start of this year, we have had no contact whatsoever. Before filming began, I hired a lawyer and am currently preparing to take legal action. The allegations about her being a racy streamer were clearly sensationalized. Based on her own statement, her content didn't cross legal lines, and she was transparent about the dinner dates being non-sexual. But people accused her of way worse stuff, which isn't true at all. But in South Korea, where public figures are held to extremely conservative standards, even slightly provocative content can cause massive backlash. And look, I just don't get the whole queer baiting or faking it argument. Like, seriously, why would she do that? Think about it for a second. What exactly would she gain from pretending to be queer on a show? It's not like that would make her stand out. In fact, it would put her under even more scrutiny. Make it make sense. At first, people were like, let's not let this affect the show, and many were actually supporting Riwon. But then Hangyul's statement drops, and the scandal takes a wild turn. She posted this long message on social media, saying Riwon made inappropriate suggestions to her after filming. Hangyul said they weren't romantically involved after the show. This was her response to the shipping that's been happening, but they did stay in touch. She claimed Riwon invited her on a trip overseas, and at first it seemed casual, but then came this whole meal date thing. In the Korean broadcast industry, meal date doesn't just mean dinner. It's a coded phrase that can imply some kind of sponsor relationship, like a transactional one. Hangyul even claimed Riwon made similar offers to other participants and accused her of using her sexual identity to boost her streamer career. Naturally, netizens went off again. This just reignited the hate around Riwon's past. But Riwon didn't stay quiet. She posted again on her socials saying, "I know people won't believe me because I was a BJ in the past. The show's producer told me not to post anything, but if I wait any longer, I feel like I'll die." She openly admitted that yes, being a broadcast jockey is seen as shameful. Yes, not every poor person goes down that path. And yes, she wore a mask. But she also claimed people on the show started digging into her past and spreading rumors, even accusing her of being sponsored. And about Hangyul, Riwon wrote something pretty raw. "I understand she's young and doesn't want to associate with someone dirty like me, but why would I drag a girl I genuinely cared about into something like that?" Then she dropped screenshots, a series of Kakao Talk messages with Hangyul, trying to clear things up, but that only added more drama. In one of the screenshots, she mentioned someone from Billboard Korea and the CEO of her influencer agency. Even though she blurred the name, people went full CSI mode and adjusted the brightness to reveal the name, claiming it was Choi Si-hoon, singer Ailey's husband. Media outlets like Osen even reported that insiders confirmed his Billboard Korea ties. But Riwon quickly shut it down. She clarified, "Yes, he gave me some professional advice. No, he's not my agency CEO. No, he's not representing me. I work with a separate agency." She even said she would step away from anything that might harm that company or person, and asked people to please stop spreading baseless rumors about those she's worked with. She denied everything Hangyul said. "I want to reiterate that the accusations made by Hangyul are completely false. Once the program finishes airing, I promise that I will not show my face in the media again." But yesterday, Hangyul posted another story on her Instagram for international fans. Apparently, she was getting hate for judging Riwon past, and these tweets said she called prostitution a crime. So she posted the story saying, "I don't deny ongoing discourse surrounding ex-work, and she have found inspiration in movies like Anora. I think anyone in the industry should have the opportunity to leave their past behind. However, I believe a different ethical issue arise when someone who is still active uses their sexuality to entice or influence who is not. She said she is not revealing the evidence right now because might need it in court later. This is messy and very serious now. We're dealing with one person's word against another. A lot of past stigma, like Riwon being a BJ, is influencing public opinion and the show, so it's hard to say who's 100% right or wrong. What is clear, I think Riwon should have been honest with production team since the start, and a lot of people feel the same way. Riwon might not have intended harm, but joining a reality show, especially one centered around relationships, does come with a certain level of responsibility. When someone has a controversial past that could impact the show and other participants, being transparent with the production team from the beginning could have prevented a lot of this mess. At the same time, it's also understandable that she might have been scared of judgment, especially knowing how harsh Korean netizens can be. Still, when the show ends up paused and other participants are dragged into scandals they didn't sign up for, that fear doesn't excuse the consequences. She didn't deserve this level of hate, especially without evidence. But also she had a responsibility to be honest with production from the start, considering the stakes. We don't know what's going to happen next, but the possibility is show probably edit her or minimize her screen time. That's what mostly happens. Do share your thoughts on this situation, and I see you in the next one.